Starting a business is scary, and it's also a lot of work. From designing a logo to participating in pop-ups, traveling, temporary markets, it's been and it still is not easy. You gotta prep in advance. Well, gotta do a pop-up, a mock pop-up the night before. You gotta get to bed early so you can have the energy and the good vibes, right? From loading to setting up, and then sometimes in the summer, baking in the sun for 6 to 10 hours. And in the end of the day, you're exhausted. You get to bed early so that you have energy and the good vibes. How do you do it? I start at the end of my day with a prayer and an intense gratitude. Very often, regardless of all the marketing and the high fees for fabulous events, I have slow sales, and that's kind of discouraging. It's common. Not every day is going to be a good sales day. But what I have learned, in my personal entrepreneur journey is that popping up constantly allows for you to be visible. I'm trying to grow my brand. So people will remember you, especially if you have a great attitude, a memorable product, and if you're looking fabulous. Popping up is an opportunity to network. You never know who you're going to meet. And I'm so grateful for the Goddess Mercado because it's now my permanent vending space in lieu of a brick and mortar where I can redirect all my supporters who want to come and see my product in person. I'm now constantly surrounded by women that inspire me. Women that are creators, crafters, healers, fashionistas, activistas, poets, writers, designers, and more. I am so grateful for all the goddesses that surround me. And I'm so grateful for Marja, the owner of Sacred Bathing. And we have Marja here with us today.
Hello.
She is one of the goddesses, one of the founding goddesses of the Goddess Mercado. She is also one of the founding goddesses of the Goddess Mercado boutique. She's also a mother of 2 teenage daughters. She's a wife and she's a school psychologist. Welcome, Marja.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
So, Marja, thank you for joining us. And you know that this podcast is, we're going to share our stories so that we can motivate other goddess vendors that are currently with us or goddesses that are considering joining us. So we want for you to please tell us about your brand. Tell us how it started.
Okay. Well, Sacred Bathing is the name of my company, and I make self-care products. And I like to say self-care products with intention. And it started from a really early age. My grandma, she loved flowers, loved plants, so she was always in her garden. So my love for plants and flowers grew. And I think the most magical moment with her was when she used to go to her garden and she used to pick some yerba buena and make me a tea, and my stomach used to feel better. It was just amazing. That just like that, I guess, introduced me to the magic of herbs and plants. And then so I always had an interest in that. My great grandma was a curandera. She passed away when I was 5, so I really never got to know her, but I always felt a connection to her.
What is a curandera?
A healer. So she used to make herbs and stuff for ailments, and people people in the community used to come to her.
She was like the community herbal doctor.
Yes. So I grew up hearing stories that my grandpa used to say, tell about her, and she was an amazing little woman, that I remember.
Like you.
Thank you. But I just remember having this like amazing connection to her, and even though she never taught me anything or I never learned anything from her, I feel like she guides me, still today. And so that's and then as I grew older, I started reading books and learning everything I could about herbs. And then when my oldest daughter was born, she was born, with sensitivities, allergies, and stuff. So that's when I really had to start making my own products. So I made my own laundry detergent, because of her sensitive skin. I started doing deodorants and toothpaste and cleaning products, And, I just started doing that, and I just started making them for friends, and people would say, oh, this is bothering me. So I would kind of do it like, oh, here, try this, So it just kind of grew organically from that. I never had any intention to sell anything or, it just is something that I love doing and just something that I kind of just felt inspired to do.
Yeah, you felt the passion. It's in your blood.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you something, because you did say that you never thought of doing this as a business. What inspired you to take on this family tradition and turn it into a business, a profitable business now? Because it's been over a year since you've been with Sacred Bathing.
Yes. Well, you did. You inspired me, because we worked out at the same gym. And, we used to use this like really harsh chemical on the mat. And I told, the coach, I said, hey, would you mind if I brought my own, cleaning product? Because this stuff is like really bad for your skin. And she's like, sure, so I brought it in and we started using that product, and you can finish.
I know. That's why I asked you to share this, because I remember you spraying and you brought your own container. We were all using it. And I used to put the mats up to my face. I was like, what is this? Smells so good. And that's when I approached you. What the hell is this?
Yeah. I was like, I make it, You're like, what? You got to sell it. Put a sticker on it. I was like, oh, no, I don't know, So, and then the pandemic hit, right? So it was like, that was right before the pandemic. We were all quarantined. We were all, and our house, is really small. So the only kind of, time alone that we had was like in the bathroom, like literally, So I used to tell my girls, take a bath, I'll make you a bath salt. Wow. I'll make you, and so they started taking baths. Mom, I feel like I'm really nervous. So I'll make them like a calm, like a bath salt for calming. And then they were like, having different issues. So, okay, self-love. You need some self-love, girl. So I'd make them one for self-love. So that's kind of how the different, different kind of bath salts came into play. Because I would make one for their different moods and different intentions and stuff. And, and then, that's kind of how and so I had all this, like during the quarantine, like I had all this ideas and all these recipes that I was doing. So then when after quarantine, I came and saw you and you're like, we're doing a pop-up, girl, you should join us. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it.
So, you were an easy sale.
So, I think because it was like the seed was planted, and I had like, about 2 years we were in quarantine or however long we were, and it's just a blur, but it was just kind of like, I think the seed was planted and it was kind of always like just growing and there. And then when you said it, I was like, yeah, I could do it, let me do it. So I think I had like 2 weeks from the time you told me to the time of the date of the pop-up. So I had to come up with logo and packaging and all kinds of stuff. So I worked on it and I worked and I did it, and I was ready for pop-up that in 2 weeks. And it was, I think, because the seed was planted. It wasn't like overnight, because it didn't happen overnight, even though I feel like it did.
Tell us a little bit about the pop-up, your first pop-up.
Oh, so a pop-up, so we literally just pop up. We had a space and we brought a 10 by 10 with some tables and just, sell our product there, set up, and vend and sell our product with a bunch of different vendors. And
let me backtrack a little bit, because, what I think we should all do is really support each other, right? And what I saw when I was going to the gym with you is that you possessed a talent. And me, I feel like I'm a talent scout, because I was trying to recruit for the mercado that I wanted in my neighborhood. And when you came to me, I did tell you, and this is how I feel about all the vendors at our market. Why don't you make something? Why don't you create something? Put a label on it. Let me know that I'm getting it from you. I will come and support you. And I know a lot of women that will come and support you.
Yes.
So thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of us, for inspiring many of us, and creating these beautiful products for us, because now that's your products are all that I use, and I'll let you talk about the products in a little bit. Marja, I'm gonna share something kind of personal, but I remember that you came to my house 2 weeks before the market with your girls in the car. And you were a little emotional, and I know you don't mind me sharing this, because this is very empowering.
Yes.
And you came up to buy a purse because you were going to go on your trip. You were very supportive of all of us. Yes. And you looked at me and you were like, I think I'm ready. I think I'm going to do it. And you took off. And you told me that you needed to be with your daughters.
Yes. So I'm getting a little emotional. But yeah, no. So
Here you go.
Maddie was going through something. My youngest daughter, she's 15. And I think the pandemic really hit our teens hard, because that's a time where they're socializing. They're they miss their friends and all of that. So I think she felt really alone and really isolated, like most of our teens do. And yeah, so her mental health wasn't in the best state. And when I came here, I came with the intention of buying a purse, but then you pitched to me, and I'm like, yeah, maybe it's something we can do together, because Maddie has always shown an interest in what I do. She's always wanted to learn about the herbs and stuff like that. So I would teach her, and but I think seeing me start a business and seeing me actually pop up, because she came and she wanted to come. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna go help you. And I said, okay. And that's not something that would, she's a teenager, she wants to hang out with her friends, she wants to, so she came, and she saw, and she all a lot of people came to support us, and she saw a lot of friends and family, and I think it was good for her. And having that bond, I think it kind of helped us become closer, because she wanted to be with me. It was like it's like she wanted to spend time with me, she wanted to hang out, and for me to teach her about the herbs, about the different properties and stuff like that.
Marja, I can relate to Maddie, because I want to be with you too. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so she it and I think it really gave her something to do and something to look forward to. So these monthly pop-ups were something that she wanted to do. And she started looking around and seeing all these incredible women, and and she was like, I want to do something. I was like, okay, well, I was like, well, why don't you talk to Diana? Diana has lots of ideas. Go talk to her, she's very inspirational.
Thank you.
And so I know she came and she talked to you a couple times, and and she's like, tea, there's no tea here. And I'm like, she goes, what kind of teas could I make? I want to sell tea. And I said, okay, but you don't drink tea. She's like, it's okay, I'll learn. So she started learning and stuff like that. And I think, and I always think back to when my grandma, it all comes back full circle, because I used to say, oh, make a tea, you'll feel better, and telling her that, and being and teaching her that, and then her coming up with her own blends, and her looking at the same books that I used to look at, and the same references. It was just kind of like, kind of full circle. And I was like, I was proud of her, and she was just, it was something that she wanted to do.
I was blown away, because, when she approached me, she's like, I want to sell here. And I told her, I pointed at her, I was like, I challenge you to look for something that is not currently represented here and do it.
Yeah.
We got you, goddess. We're all calling each other goddesses. And at only 14 years old, your daughter,
yes,
she's an excellent student at a local school. She has her own line that she rebranded. I was like, what the hell was this new brand?
Yeah.
She's rebranded her logo, her name, and she's one of our best sellers at our boutique. She pays consignment for our boutique.
She does.
She also has her own booth that she pays monthly.
She does.
At our Mercado, and she's there monthly.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm only using her teas now, and I'm so happy to support her, and I can't wait to see how she grows and she thrives. And I know she's going to do it at our Mercado with the support of all the goddesses that are there. Thank you so much, Marja, for being such an amazing inspiration to all of us, especially to your daughters.
Yeah, and she's thriving, and now and it's because of the support there, and that's the energy of that of the mercados. That's the energy of the pop-ups. It's just this energy that's there, and I just.
It's a goddess energy.
It's a goddess energy, and it's just so inspiring, and so it's like you want to be there, like you said, the pop-ups are hard, they're not easy, and it's work, because you're there and sometimes in the hot sun, but it's just that energy, and you meet people and you talk to people, and it's just like it just revives you, and it just gives you that, let me do it again.
So I want to ask you,
yes.
What have been the biggest challenges since starting your business?
Just just trying to be consistent. Like, it is hard work. I make the stuff myself, the products myself. So I think just being consistent, making the product, having product on hand. Prices have gone up in a lot of the cost of the of the supplies and stuff. So that
Right.
that sustaining, I think that's been the biggest, like, how can I make this affordable but still use quality ingredients, because and I think the product, the kind of products I make self-care products. I make lotions, I make clay masks, I make bug spray, things like that, and you can buy that at the store. But I think why I would want people to buy my product is because I know what I put in it, and the quality is good. I know what I put. I use it on my family. I use it on my loved ones. So it's I wouldn't put anything in it that I wouldn't give to my family or use myself or use my daughters. So I think it's important.
I love that.
And that's my I that's what I so I think just the sustainability of trying to be affordable, but yet use the best quality ingredients, but yet that balance of trying to find it. Like, I don't want to charge, because you can walk into Ulta and buy a $78 body oil, and I'm like, wait, I use better ingredients than that, and people will pay it, obviously, because it's there. But I think the women have been very supportive, and they and that's the thing, being supportive of each other and buying from each other. And I think that's the magic of the mercados.
Well, what I love the most, talking about magic, is the magic that you bring to the mercado. One of the favorite products that you make, which, by the way, I'm so proud to tell people, that soap that's in my bathroom, that's made by one of the goddesses that I know. Yeah. The bath steamer that I use, and my son, I gave him one, and after his runs, he uses the soaking salt. I tell him, Marja made that. And it feels so good to know that you are doing something that's helping take care of me and my family. Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate that. But I want to talk about one of my favorite products. Yes. That anybody that comes to the boutique while I'm there, it's such an easy sell. It's the yoni soap.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't know what a yoni is, it's, your coochie, yes. Your vagina. And I didn't know. Marja schooled me on the yoni, and I'm going to let Marja talk about her yoni product.
So it's a soap, and it's in a coconut base, which coconut oil is really good for your skin, just organically. And it has honey and bee propolis, which are really good for the skin as well. But it's antibacterial, it's antimicrobial. And I think your favorite part is that it has peppermint, which is very cooling and tingling, and it's a very it's a very mild sensation, but it's a pleasant sensation, and it's cleansing, and it's antibacterial. And then it has lavender, which is soothing, and chamomile, which is also very, so it has very good health benefits for the yoni. And so and it
and who doesn't want a tingly vagina,
right? So it's my number one selling product, and I think people are like, what? Wait, what? Like, they're kind of like, they've never heard of it. And it's like, you buy special products for your hair, you buy special products for your face, I mean, your yoni, your vagina is like, it's precious. Like, yeah. Why wouldn't you buy special products for that as well? Yeah.
It's a diamond. You got to take care of it.
Yeah.
But definitely when people come into the boutique, and I give the tour of all the products that are represented there, I always pitch your yoni soap. It's an easy sell because it's a perfect big gift for yourself and also for a loved one. But if I warn you, once you use it, that you're going to want to shower 10 times. You're going to wash that shit 10 times.
And it's fine because it's all natural.
So that is one of my favorite products. But Marja, thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey. And also, that we have a lot of women that are part of our mercado that are listening to us that might have popped up one time or that are considering popping up. What tips or recommendations do you have for them that might inspire them or motivate them to join us, to join our movement?
Just do it. I mean, if you're passionate about it and it's something that you want, you want to do and you're interested in, just do it. I mean, it's such a rewarding feeling. And I think sometimes that little voice, of self-doubt is creeps up. Like, why would you do it? Why would you got to just shut it up and just do it. I think that's the main thing. Just like, if you have a vision, just do it. And you'll learn along the way. Like, I mean, I did. I mean, I learned along the way, and talking to women, talking to other like-minded.
What have been your most powerful lessons that you've learned from?
You just got to be consistent. You got to just, like you said, show up, be visible. You might have a very slow day in sales, but then the next time, oh yeah, I needed this, or I saw this last time. So, just being there, being visible, being able to talk about your product, and they remember you, they remember, and then they come back and say, oh, like, I wanted to buy this. And, and a lot of my client, my customers, my clients are repeat, they come back all the time, or they say, they buy gifts and stuff. So, it's kind of, I have a kind of a following now, which just like blows my mind, It's like, what? Like,
It feels beautiful, definitely, to be supported in that way. And I know what it feels like, and I want everyone at the Mercado to feel that, to know how valuable they are, how their product is impacting our community, not just for self-care, but also with fashion and with the relationships that we're all building. Now, I want to ask you one more thing, because I go through this a lot, and a lot of the women that I'm working with are going through this as well. Like, I constantly have what my mom used to call, huevona days. Yeah. I feel huevona. I don't feel like doing shit, right? And it's so hard to get out of that mindset. Yes. And I struggle, and a lot of the women that I'm working with are struggling, but I'm learning to overcome it, and I feel like I'm almost there. What do you do to overcome your huevona days?
I made a commitment to myself, and I want to honor that. And, I made a commitment to my daughters. I made a commitment to the goddesses at the Mercado. So I remember that commitment, and I said, you know what? I got to do it, because I made a commitment. I made a commitment to Diana to show up. I made a commitment to, my customers to show up, and to bring product, and to bring my, my product so that they can use it and their loved ones. And I made a commitment to my daughters, so I can be an example for them, so they can see. And I made a commitment to myself, and I think honoring the commitment with myself is the hardest, because, but I say I'm going to do it, and I just do it because, you have to.
That's so perfect for anyone who is vending and is a mother, because we tend to put ourselves last as a mother. Every single mother that I know puts herself last. It's our kids first, or, our partner. And then, because we know we can handle it. Yeah. And you've taken on a lot of responsibility. I really admire your work ethic. I love that you're a part of us. I love the product that you're sharing, the magic that you're sharing with us. I'm so grateful for you. And one of the things that I love the most is, like, for the listeners, for the followers, for the vendors that are part of us, the Thursday night before the event, I always message everybody, look like a goddess. Bring your goddess best. Yes. And Marja, Sacred Bathing, is one of those vendors. I think the first market you showed up in tacones. You were...
Yeah, I didn't realize.
And I love that you're always bringing your goddess best. And you always look beautiful and fabulous, from your hair to your shoes to the crowns that we're wearing. Marja created these for us goddesses, and we try to wear them, as beautiful adornments at our events and any celebrations, because we want other women to feel like us. We want other women to feel beautiful and powerful and goddess-like, because we women, we are goddesses. We're life givers. We bring magic, and we bring a lot of love to anything that we touch and anything that we're a part of. So thank you so much, Goddess Marja from Sacred Bathing, for joining us, for sharing your journey. And I know that, a lot of us can relate to what you shared, to dealing with the mental health, with the struggle, with the support of the family, with the not knowing what to do with some of your downtime. I admire you. I love you. And I'm so glad that you're stuck with us.
I love it. No, I love it. You guys give me energy. You guys, I thank you for having me.
So what's next for Sacred Bathing? Tell us.
Well, I'm working on a goddess coalition. So that's coming up. And I really want to be able to help other vendors. I want to be able to unite, because when women get together, we can do amazing things. We have this energy, and I felt it, and I think we just hit the tip of the iceberg. And I think if we form a coalition and we talk and we can do amazing things. And I think now more than ever, we need it. Yeah. We need that support. We need that, we need to know that we're powerful and that our voices are mean something,
We're valuable, definitely.
Exactly. And I think sometimes, we get, like you said, we put ourselves aside, but I think we think to speak to our, our power and our truth. And I think having a coalition will give us that platform. And, I really hope that, we'll be able to, do something with that.
So if any of you are interested in joining our Goddess Coalition, please come and look for Marja at the Mercado. She has a sign up and she has a directory, and she's going to sign you up. We're going to have quarterly meetings where we talk about issues like entrepreneurial issues for us Latina women moving forward with our children, with our families, with our brands, with our logos, and addressing some of the obstacles that we face as we're trying to grow on our own. We don't have the privilege, or some of us don't have the financial background to grow, but we have each other. And this coalition is definitely gonna make sure that our voices are heard by our local leaders or organizations that are willing to support all of us. So come and look for Marja Sacred Bathing at the Goddess Mercado. The second Saturday of every month, Marja is also represented at the boutique, the Goddess Mercado boutique at Huntington Drive. You can follow us on Instagram at the Goddess Mercado or at the Goddess Mercado boutique. You can also follow the Queer Mercado and find us, look for us, come and support them. Come and be a part of us. If you're interested in being a vendor, you can sign up for vending on our Goddess link. I am the vendor curator, so I'll be sure to get back to you within 5 or 7 days. I love you, goddesses. I hope that these stories have inspired you to either come and support us or be a part of it. I love you. Mwah. Que Dios me las bendiga. Bye.